Hello, hello, hello. Just giving everyone a few moments to join before we get started. Hi. Just giving a few moments for people to join so you haven't missed any nuggets just yet. Okay. So I am happy that everyone is here. Hi, my name is Danira McCullough. I will be the host of the Black Kids Hair Experience. And excuse me, I am bringing on a wonderful, talented person to talk about hair care today. Tomorrow, we also do have an event. We're talking about community hair pressures. So, pressures that you face about your hair within your own community. So, that will be tomorrow. So, today we are bringing on Bria, the CEO of Girls That Fade. And I'm just so excited to have her. So I'll just bring her to the stage. Okay. Bria, you need to unmute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. You sound great.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. I'm excited to have you on. So, did want to give a brief introduction. Hello, everyone. This is Bria. As I already told you guys, she is the CEO of Girls That Fade. She's been in the industry for 5 years, and she owns her own grooming shop in Virginia Beach.
Yep.
So, if any of you guys are in Virginia, please check her out.
Yes. Come on through. So you want me to give like a little brief intro?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. As she said, you guys, CEO of Girls That Fade. It's pretty much just a online community for female barbers. Or barbers that are females. I've been in the industry for going on 6 years. I just got my own shop in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She said it all. I'm excited to talk to you guys. And thank you so much, Daenerys, for thinking of me.
Of course. So, we build connections every day, and I'm glad that Audra was able to connect us. So awesome. Love having you. Okay, so we're going to get into a few questions. And just for the audience, if you guys want to enter any questions or comments, please do. But please note that, like, if you don't log into StreamYard, I won't know who's actually, talking and commenting. Okay, so cool. So let's get started with the first question. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into the industry? I understand that it's very rare to have a woman barber. So wanted to, talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I actually started because when I was younger, on top of always going to the barbershop with my grandfather 24/7, he would always take us. And they had like the old school barbershop where you got like the little cookie that was shaped like a bear. Um, at the arcade games in the back. So we would always want to go. So the barbershop was like love for us. And then on top of that, my mom actually had a unisex salon that had barbers on one side and, cosmetologist on the other side. And I always just kind of bounce back between both. So once I got old enough to go to school, I went to school, got my cosmetologist license, and I was like, I want to try and do both. And I actually wanted to be a platform artist doing women's hair, like wigs and stuff. And I
Nice.
started into it, and I was like, oh no, this just doesn't feel like, it's not me. And then I gave barbering a chance, and it clicked, and I was like, I love this. This is what I want to do. And I just kept, reaching out to people, trying to learn as much as I could, and it was just over from there.
Nice, nice. I know we talked about as being an artist with clippers, just think of it as a paintbrush. So that's
Hmm.
great. I'm glad you found your passion. Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about girls that phase that fade. Sorry.
So, yeah, fine. So Girls That Fade, I kind of started that because when I first got into the industry, there was a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of pushback because I was a female in the barbershop, and a lot of guys, they weren't used to seeing it at the time, so they didn't trust me with their hair. So, I got things like, I'm not letting a girl cut my hair. I'm not, you know what you're doing. Turn around every 5 seconds. Let me see the mirror, touching it while I'm cutting it. I dealt with all of that. So, I just got sick of it and I was like, I'm gonna have to be confident in myself because obviously, you guys don't trust me and I'm not gonna keep begging people to. So I just invested in my craft and then I created the platform Girls That Fade just to kind of provide that support that I wish I had when I first started in the industry. So I created that platform to give back that support. And also, like, I do classes, I do all types of stuff just to kind of create like a safe space for women in the industry to come and learn and just network and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome because you know somewhere you someone has to be the first, right?
Yeah,
Like someone has to be the first, and even though there wasn't that input, for you, that type of mentorship from a woman perspective, like at least you're a mentor to others, so that's definitely great. I'm glad that you were the person to actually step up and see that there was a gap within
right.
the community, because a lot of things is just a boys club. Like
Right.
let's be let's be for real. It is a boys club from that perspective.
Or a
But
lot
I
of
would
places.
say, go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say a lot of shows they'll have like a little bitty female segment. They'll be like, oh, let's bring up these barbers that are females. 5 little seconds and then it's done with. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Cause
you
like
know.
even growing up, my mom actually had like some clippers at the
Oh,
house.
that's what I'm
So
talking
like I have two older brothers, and like one day I was like, Mom, what are you doing with these clippers? She said, Listen, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do.
about. Seriously, especially her having one. I'm sure sometimes she was like, I do not feel like going to take them to get their hair cut. I'm about to figure this out.
Right. Most definitely. So I do have additional questions so we can go with whatever I have left. So when someone is sitting in your chair, how can you tell whether their hair is well groomed, well taken care of?
Okay, so when I start any client, I usually do a consultation first, where I'm asking them like, one, asking them about the haircut, but I'm also asking them like, do they have any concerns with their hair? And while they're talking, I'm actually like, most people will see like when someone sits in their chair, you see your stylist or barber start combing your hair, and what we're
Mm-hmm.
actually doing is just looking through the sections, making sure that the scalp doesn't look dry. Like we're just checking everything out. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking to see like if the scalp is dry. I'm looking to see if I see any breakage. I'm looking to see, make sure there's no lice or anything like that. Just checking everything. And I usually will talk to the client if I do see dry spots, ask them what their diet is like. Like, are you drinking a lot of water? Are you, eating healthy? Are you taking vitamins? If I see breakage, all that type of stuff. So that's usually how I tell, just by combing through the client's hair when they first sit in the chair and paying attention to the moisture of the hair and just the overall well-being of it.
No, that makes perfect sense. And of course, it's the same thing when it comes to kids and adults. Like we're not much different from that perspective. Um, so I would say, like, throughout your career, what kind of like hair horror stories do you have?
So, actually, jumping off of the topic of hair health and lice, I remember one time when I started off at a sports clips, and it was my
Mhm.
first time managing a shop. And I had just took it over. I was the youngest one there, but I was the only one there who had could cut and could take on the responsibility. So they had made me the manager, and I think I'd only been the manager for maybe like a week or two. And the girl next to me was like, I can't finish cutting his hair. He has lice. And I was like, you already started cutting it? So, like, started cutting it and she saw it in there. And protocol is you have to stop what you're doing. You have to shut the shop down. Everybody has to leave. And you have to, like, deep clean. And I told her, I was like, girl, I don't even want you using them clippers. Like, luckily there was nobody else in the shop already.
Mhm.
But just as my first, I had only been a manager for 2 weeks. I'm like, why this gotta happen now? I don't even know what I'm doing. So, I had to call the owner and she told me. But the dad was upset because he's like, well, half his head is shaved now. I'm like, well, we can't continue. There's literal stuff in there, So that's crazy. I could go on and on about horror stories. I've seen a little kid move and their eyebrow got cut off from another stylist. I've seen a lot of
Ooh,
stuff, a lot of hair horror
ooh.
stories. So yes.
So we talked. Good thing that you brought that up because with dealing with kids, this is the Black kids hair experience. Dealing with kids, we do understand when it comes to a haircut or whether like they want to get their hair braided or styled a certain way, they tend to move a lot. What type of techniques do you do to help make sure like they don't move as much or anything like that?
Right. So, usually what I'll do when I know a kid is coming, I usually will tell the parents to bring a tablet or a phone, something with their favorite show that they watch because it's good to keep the kids occupied. I tell the parents to bring snacks, gummies. I tell them to bring a drink of water, all the things that your kid is gonna try and use to get out the seat. Usually as soon as they sit down, they're like, "I'm thirsty," and they're like, "Okay, let's go get some water." I'm hungry. Okay, let's go get some snacks. All of that stuff. It just kind of helps if it's already there for them to use. They feel more comfortable too. They're like, okay, this isn't a space where I can't have my things that I like. I can sit here. I can watch my show. I got my snacks. I got my drink. I'm good to go. So usually, also I tell people, just try to make them as comfortable as possible. Um, I usually always try to greet the kids with a smile. Hey, bud, how
Hmm.
you doing? What's up, man? Like all that type of stuff, just to kind of create that comfortable space for them and make it so that it's like, so they don't feel intimidated. Like they're already walking up to this
Right.
big chair, and you got these mechanical clippers coming at their head, and they're like, "This is loud. I don't know what to do. Falling off." Like, so I just try to make them feel as safe as possible because it is a scary experience for kids. So I just try to
Yeah,
make them
yeah.
as comfortable as
Yeah,
possible.
my son is 4, so he
Mhm.
hasn't gotten a haircut yet. I braid his hair, and
Mhm.
we're kind of thinking about whether we want to cut his hair or not.
Right.
Um, because he, like you said, like he has that problem where he doesn't want to sit still for a long time. Like he just
Yeah.
he just don't want to do it. So I like definitely know what it's like when a child moves and you're trying to do their
Mhm.
hair and it's just like
Yeah.
It's all
And
ruined.
right, I always
And I
tell
mean, in your case, you can't start over.
I always tell people, I'm like, don't force them,
Hmm.
because the second that you force a kid to sit, like I see all the videos of the barbers, like they got them in a headlock and they
Hmm.
shaving their head and the kid is screaming. When you do stuff like that, like yeah, the kid is gonna get the cut, whatever, but that then becomes a traumatic experience for them, so they never want
Right.
to go back. That's why you'll see like when kids even see you pull up to the barbershop, they already crying because they're like, no, I know what happened last time I was at this place. So I always tell people like, oh, and then also, like you say, your son is 4, he doesn't like to sit still. Um, Especially with black kids, I always say, don't do the edge up. Like, start off with something simple, just
Hmm.
until they start getting used to getting their hair cut. Because the second that you're going to do that edge up, it's too risky,
Hmm.
Like if
Hmm.
the kid is like, all right, I'm over this, I want to move, then they move, and then now their edge up is like a little bit crooked,
Yeah.
and the mom's like, girl, what did you just do to my baby? And I'm like, yeah, and then
And
it's like,
then for the listeners, for the viewers, can you please explain what an edge up is? They may not
yeah.
know.
So an edge up is just usually when we see our the little boys just get like the straight line here. It's really just outlining the nape and the temple part of the hair, and just keeping it clean. Usually, when you see they have like the box and then the C shape here, that's usually what a line up or an edge up, or I know some people may call it yeah, edge up or a line up. But yep, that's pretty much
Yeah.
all it is. But I always recommend that when you take your kid for their first haircut, you always start off with the C shape first and see how they do, because
Hmm.
that's something where like if it messes up, you can fade it out easy, you know. Versus if you start here and then they're like, I don't like those, you can't really, you got to finish it, or either they just have to have that, not finished edge up in the middle. So that's a big tip I always recommend for people, is to start with that C shape when you're gonna do a little kid's hair.
That's interesting. And now that you say that, I do see a little kids where their size is a little bit shaved off. And I'm wondering, right, is that something they requested or the C
Right.
got messed up? Now that you're saying that.
So bald fades are popular, and a bald fade is just when, like, you see when it's bald and it fades up into the hair. They are
Hmm.
popular, but a lot of times, you will have to switch to that because the kid was wiggling or whatever, and you're like, dang it, it took it too far back, it doesn't look right, and then the parent will be like, it just faded out, whatever. But that was what I had to do a lot of when I first started. Luckily now, with me
Hmm.
being in the industry so long, I've kind of learned like the cues right before a kid is about to move. So I know
Mm.
now, I know exactly when to pull my clippers back, or like like I can sense when they're about to wiggle, and I'm like, nope, won't get me, Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. So just going back to, hair care, what is some of the things that, little girls and boys can actually, well, they won't do it, but their parents, of course, will help assist them. Like, what can they do to make sure like their hair is healthy?
So, I know a lot of times with the little boys, the parents will allow the kids to grow their hair out. And I'm not
Hmm.
sure if it's because they're little boys or what it is, but little boys need to get their ends trimmed, just like, they need to go get a deep condition, end trim, get it blown out, and then braid it down. Like, they need the same hair care as little girls. Little girls, same thing as little boys. Make sure you get your ends trimmed. Make sure you're doing deep conditions. Make sure you're keeping it moisturized. Make sure you're keeping it detangled, because once your hair starts getting tangled up and wrapped around itself, then it starts breaking, and then you run into the issues where, like, you'll see kids get in the chair to get their hair cut and they're crying because the barber is combing it out or something like that. And because it does hurt, if your hair is dry and then it's tangled on top of that, it just kind of pulls. And I hate that for my little babies. So it's Even a detangling tip, I usually will put water and conditioner into a spray bottle and
Okay.
detangle it that way. I do not recommend doing any type of dry detangling. I always tell people to detangle, little black kids' hair wet. We don't want to detangle it dry because then we're breaking it off more. Um, yeah, I just always say we got to make sure we take care of our crowns because this is what represents us. So if we have our little boys walking around and they have their hair out and it's just flowing, like we want it to be healthy, to be clean, and we want people to see them like, dang, I wish my hair could do that. And same thing for our little ones. Like I love when I have my little kids in the chair because I have some kids where they get the braids, but they get just the edge up in the front, and they have so
Hmm.
much. I'm like, boy, I'm jealous of you. Like your hair out here shining, So yeah, I just always recommend making sure we keep our kids' hair detangled, um, moisturized. Moisture is big. There's a couple of products you guys could look into. Young King's hair. I personally use Influence. They have an amazing line of products, all that type of stuff, just to kind of keep up with it and keep the
Hmm.
moisture intact.
So just to bring it back, we're talking about like don't detangle the hair while it's dry. So my son, so his dad was actually like trying to detangle his hair. So my son has like curly hair,
Mm-hmm.
but it gets natted very easily.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves to play under covers. So it's like he'll have a curly, natted fro with lint balls. So his dad tried to, detangle his hair. And
Mm-hmm.
he's just like, and then I walk in the room and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm
Right.
trying to. I'm like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You do not detangle hair dry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one with the hair, and I can tell you right now, I do
Right.
not even detangle my own hair dry. We
Torture.
need some moisture.
Exactly. It's torture. Oh, torture. I'm the same way. Girl, you be sitting there. You
So
done in
listen, got the spray bottle, got the
mm,
water, put some shampoo. I know I put conditioner in there.
mm,
I'm like, use this. We
yeah.
need some moisture in our son's hair. Like, please, please,
Hmm.
because you're hurting the boy. Like,
Not only are you hurting them, you're gonna take the hair off too. Because
yeah.
it doesn't have any slip, so it's just yanking
Mhm.
it itself. So it's like you don't want that to happen either, because then that's when we start getting where it's broken off here, but they got like a nice puff in the back. We gotta make sure we keep
Yeah.
it moisturized.
Definitely. And I would say like I did struggle initially like to find a product that was good for my son's hair. Cause for one, like we don't have the same kind of hair. Like
Right,
his hair that I described is definitely like not my hair. So it
right,
was like a shocker because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like
right,
it's it's not my hair. I'm not used to this type of hair. Like I don't even know where he got the hair from. Of course, is a combination of everyone, but like
right,
I actually have the same type of hair as my mom. It's just my hair is a little bit softer. But
right.
if my mom and my son had the same hair, like I know how to deal with my mom's hair. I didn't. I had to learn a new way, new
Yeah,
products to figure out, what was best for my son's hair. We had a few hit and misses. It was okay. But as they get older, their hair changes as well. So it's like you can't always use the same product. But I would say like where we landed, like you said before, Young King hair care. So we
yes,
actually started, yeah, we actually started using that, and it's so much better.
right.
So hopefully like this is the product we land on, and his hair
Yeah,
doesn't like do another change. But
yeah,
like that's extremely important. And one of the things I did notice like in the industry, they didn't have a lot. well, they still don't, but have hair care that's like geared towards, young boys. So I did find myself like looking for girl products, and
Mm-hmm.
not saying they didn't work, but they did
Right.
work. But it was like, well,
But
where's the
you
boy stuff? The hair
right,
is not much different, but I
right,
still was like, well, where's the boy stuff?
right. Because it's so that representation is so geared towards little girls and women. It's like you don't want him seeing it and be like, she using this girl stuff in my hair. Like you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
so I'm
I
like, I'm
know
happy I
that
did it
that
when he was younger, because now he's like definitely identifying himself like, no, that's for girls. Like
right,
this is for boys, and he would actually point things out, and it was like, oh, no, 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 this is for, Nani hair, this is for my hair. So he does like notice those differences for sure.
yeah. And I mean, it's I think it's just nice because you said he's 4, right? It's
Yeah.
nice for him to have his own stuff, like his own.
Hmm.
We have our own stuff in the shower. Our husbands have their own stuff in the shower. Like I'm sure he feels like the stuff. Like he goes and gets his little hair care stuff, and it makes them excited. It makes them want to do it too. You know, if he knows he has his own shampoo, his own conditioner. Like I don't know
Hmm.
about y'all. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and when we got her own perfume, girl, she was so on it with that perfume. So because she's like, now I can be like mommy, like I can spray my perfume
Yeah.
and I'm ready to go out the door. Same thing when we got her own soap. We ain't have to fight her to
Hmm.
take no showers, nothing. She's like, I got my own stuff. So I know that's another issue people have is actually getting their kids excited about wash day or something like that. So when they have their own stuff and that representation, it's like, let me go get
Hmm.
my, young king hair care because I'm a young king. Like, and I'm about to get my
Yeah.
it's cute.
Yeah, I got him the whole package. I got him the little fanny pack. I got him the shirt. I got him the whole deal. So it's like he also have like the sponge. I mean, his hair is too long for the sponge, but I was
Yeah.
like,
But
when
he
you
think
get older, most definitely.
right,
Like I'm not gonna use it, so I'll put
right.
it on the side for you, son. So yeah,
So,
they definitely like love, their own stuff. And like as far as like for your daughter, what kind of hair care do you do for her?
we personally use all Influence in my house.
Hmm.
Influence is a black-owned brand here in Virginia. They are amazing. I really love their products. And then I also
Hmm.
just started using this brand called Anasi, which I think is a black woman-owned brand, and that
Okay.
works so good for my hair as well. Oh my gosh! But I just actually started using that, so I think I used that the past 2 times. So my two go-tos are Influence and Anasi. Is INAHS. And I use that on me and her. And usually she has her wash day. I have her set on a schedule with her hairstylist. She goes about every 2 weeks if she doesn't have braids, and she'll
Hmm.
get her shampoo, her conditioner, and then at home we make sure she's sleeping with her bonnet or a silk pillowcase because a lot of times, and especially with her bonnet always comes off. So actually, her edges, like right around here, was
Hmm.
actually breaking off from her rubbing on her pillow and stuff. So we
Mm.
just invested in the silk pillowcase because we know everything about ourselves and how to take care of our hair and all of that stuff,
Right.
but we forget sometimes when it comes to our kids until we start seeing the breakage or whatever. So, I just try to make sure I do the same thing that I do to my hair to hers, which is, just keeping it clean, detangled, making sure she has her protection, her bonnet, her silk pillowcase, which you can do for little boys too. I know little boys don't want to wear a bonnet, but you can get a silk pillowcase and that actually protects their hair as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I need to invest in a silk pillowcase. I got him like the little kid, the do rag.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely got him that his own size. And sometimes he doesn't want to wear it, but I always like say, make believe you're a ninja
Right.
trying to like fight crime and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, that's how I also convinced him to wear his mask. I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, just pretend you're a ninja and we're on a
Exactly.
mission." So like once I put it in that perspective, like he's all set, he's ready. He'd be like, "Come on, mommy, let's be
Exactly.
ninjas."
Right.
So it's like it's so funny, it's so cute.
Yeah, that's adorable.
So I know we talked a little bit about, tips and tricks that you may, have for parents and guardians for the kids. Are there any more tips and tricks that you think that would be, very helpful for us out there?
Um, I would say it's definitely worth it to invest in your kids' hair and keep up with
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, a lot of times, invest in getting your kid, your daughter's hair done every 2 weeks. Or if you can't, you don't want to invest in getting it done every 2 weeks, then, just try to keep up with it at home. Um, Also, you do not have to shampoo your child's hair every single week or every single day. Because I know some parents that wash their kids' hair every single day. You can do once a week, but honestly speaking, some kids can go, especially if they have long hair, they can go up to 2 weeks and
Mm-hmm.
then the reason why I say don't over shampoo is because you can actually dry your hair out by shampooing it too much. You're removing a lot of the natural oils that your body creates to moisturize your hair. And when you, take it out, either your hair is going to do two things: it's either going to get too dry or it's going to get too oily. So
Right.
I always in that. So yeah, that's like a big tip for me is just to make sure that you're investing in the health of your kids' hair as far as taking care of it, getting it done or doing it yourself.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And like even when having newborns, like they tell you not to wash their hair every day because of the same thing. You don't want them, their hair to dry out and stuff like that. So, you know, sometimes they say, every week rather than every day or every few days, just like they say before, the doctors just make sure, you're looking out for your child's hair. Um,
Yeah.
taking it from that perspective. I know sometimes, people forget. It is what
Mhm.
it is. But definitely, like I would say, like growing up, my mom definitely did my hair like every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And
Very
if
true.
it wasn't like depending on what the hairstyle was and it still looked awesome, like
Right.
I think we'll do like 3 weeks, like we'll go an extra week or something like that.
Yep.
But most definitely.
Yeah, and also if because I know the issue I run into here, a lot of parents say their issue with that is like their kids play sports, so they're like, their hair is sweaty, and I really want to wash it every day. You can actually rinse the kid's hair out and use conditioner, so do like a
Hmm.
co-wash instead of like an actual shampoo. So that's usually what parents to do is to do a co-wash. So they'll rinse the kid's hair out with conditioner, and that actually will get some of that oil and dirt out of there enough for
Hmm.
you, wait until you do the actual shampoo. So yeah.
No, no, that makes sense because like thinking about it, my son is in daycare, so it's like you come home and then all of a sudden you see these sticks or you see this
Yeah.
dirt and you see the sand and I'm like, what were you doing? Like playing and all this stuff. Did you just go like this? And
Yes.
and just put that all in. So it's like, nah, I gotta wash it. So like I understand from that perspective, but that is, that's definitely a good tip.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing.
Yes. Of course.
So I just wanted to say thank you for joining. I really, truly appreciate it. Everyone, this is Bria. Once again, she is the CEO of Girl That Fades.
Woo.
And her shop is located in Virginia Beach. So make sure you guys check her out if you're in Virginia or anything like that. If you're looking for a mentor as well, like she's it.
Oh, come on.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it and have a good one.
Thank you.